Hey, what's up guys? This is Planet Soane and I wanted to share these freshly harvested tomatoes. This was the first harvest. These tomato plants were given to us by our neighbor. I have another neighbor that used to give me some of her cherry tomatoes, which tasted pretty good, but these ones are larger, closer to the normal sized tomatoes, with a few being small. I was surprised on how big they got and they tasted pretty fresh. Tomatoes are considered a fruit and are a rich source of vitamin C and lycopene. Vitamin C protects the lungs from oxidation, protecting us from damage caused by ozone, smoke, cigarette smoke, or pollutants inhaled by the lungs. To get the full benefits of vitamin C, eat tomatoes raw, because cooking them will denature the vitamin C. But cooking tomatoes will release more lycopene. Lycopene is similar to beta-carotene and is responsible for the bright red color of tomatoes. Lycopene helps fight against several types of cancers, including prostate, breast, lung, digestive tract, and uterine cancer. You can still get some lycopene eating tomatoes raw. Other nutrients in tomatoes include calcium and vitamin K for repairing and strengthening our bones. It has vitamin A that is converted from beta-carotene in our body, helping to maintain healthy eyesight and vision. Tomatoes have B vitamins like B6 that help manage blood sugar levels, maintaining blood glucose during exercise so you don't get fatigued. And they have potassium, magnesium, and small amounts of sodium that balance fluid levels and helps maintain a healthy functioning heart, lowering high blood pressure and bad LDL cholesterol. Tomatoes are also about 95% water that will help keep the body hydrated. There are several varieties of tomatoes and they come in different shapes, sizes, and colors of yellow, green, pink, purple, black, orange, and red. Tomatoes can also be mixed with multiple colors like a greenish red tomato. There are two types of green tomatoes. One is an unripe red tomato and the other is a ripe green tomato, part of the heirloom variety. The difference is that a ripe green tomato will have vertical stripes and variations in color, and it will have a similar taste to a ripe red tomato, being mildly sweet and tangy. Some green tomato varieties, mainly the heirloom variety, can also resemble the shape of a small pumpkin. An unripe red tomato that is green will be pale green all around. The surface will be hard and it will have a tart and acidic flavor. So if you're growing your own tomatoes and are wondering why they aren't turning red, they are a ripe green tomato. If you picked an unripe tomato, you can wrap it in newspaper or put it in a paper bag. Left at room temperature for a few days and it will ripen fast. Freshly picked ripe tomatoes can be left out on the table or counter for a few days before storing in the refrigerator. Eat within 1 to 2 weeks. Even though there are different colors of tomatoes, the ones with the most lycopene will be the bright red tomatoes. Some store-bought tomatoes are picked before ripened, to reduce the chances of them becoming bruised or rotting upon arrival. Then they are artificially ripened using ethylene gas, which tomatoes emit a small amount of naturally during the ripening process. This is why some store-bought tomatoes can taste bland. You can create this effect naturally if you have tomatoes that aren't ripe, by putting ripe bananas or apples in a paper bag with unripe tomatoes, and sealing the bag. The bananas and apples will naturally release ethylene gas, and the gas will be contained within the bag. That will help the tomatoes ripen. Some store-bought tomatoes can be GMO too, or grown with chemicals or pesticides. So if you're planning on buying tomatoes from the store, purchase organic, or you can always grow your own tomatoes. I recently went outside and noticed more tomatoes growing on the vines. So they are a great plant to have, and depending on the weather, some tomato varieties can be year-round. They can also be grown indoor too during the winter. Even though tomatoes are considered a fruit, they aren't as sweet as a typical fruit and can pass by as a vegetable. This makes tomatoes versatile and goes well with many dishes from hot to cold. You can use tomatoes to make salsa or dip. You can make tomato juice, tomato soup, or a salad. You can use tomatoes to make a sauce for homemade pizza, pasta, and spaghetti, or you can use them to make sandwiches. Things to consider when eating tomatoes is that they can cause stomach issues with people who suffer from heartburn and indigestion. Tomatoes can also cause an allergic reaction. So you don't have to eat 20 tomatoes a day to get the benefits. Just eat a few tomatoes per day or every few days, or anytime you get a chance. This is Soane from planet Soane signing out.